the sea. It draws us in, doesn't it? So much beauty and power and just mystery.
Absolutely. But sometimes what lies beneath that beauty or within that mystery can be genuinely disturbing.
Yeah. And today we're actually going to share some true accounts. So a listener pointed us towards a video with these real experiences people had on the water or in the water that went sideways. Right. Really wrong.
Experiences you wouldn't wish on anyone.
So what we want to do is just sort of share these stories, look closely at what happened in those moments.
And understand how things can flip so fast, from calm to, terrifying.
There's that kind of primal feeling the sea gives you, that apprehension. These stories, they tap right into that.
Mm-hmm. And the ones you've got here, they're quite varied. Some are about, nature's power unexpectedly hitting.
Yeah.
Others are more about unsettling human encounters.
And there's one that's just unexplained. A disappearance.
Together, they really show how fragile our feeling of control is out there.
Okay, let's start with the first one. This is about someone's very first scuba dive.
Ever. Oh, wow. Okay. Big moment.
Totally. They're on vacation, going down into this amazing alien world, feeling incredible. Their brother's right there with them.
That's perfect.
They swim around, explore a bit, not too far from the boat, or so they think.
Right.
Then the moment it all changes, they surface. First the narrator, then the brother pops up.
Yeah.
And the boat's just gone. Not there.
Oh, no.
Just water. Right. Rippling water everywhere, horizon all around. The feeling they describe, just immediate, total helplessness, pure panic.
I can only imagine that sinking feeling.
What's interesting, too, is how the brothers reacted differently. The narrator was just frozen, silent with fear.
Paralyzed.
Yeah. But the brother, even though he must have been terrified, started trying to rationalize it, saying stuff like, oh, they'll be back. It's just a mistake, a stupid mistake.
Trying to keep it together. It shows how differently people process that kind of shock, that sudden danger.
And then finally, relief. They spot the boat. Just a tiny speck way off, but it's turning around.
Oh, thank God.
They get seen, picked up. The instructor was, visibly shaken. Apologized profusely, offered them free diving for life.
A gesture, I guess, but after that.
Exactly. The narrator said, nope, never again. That experience was it for scuba diving.
You can't blame him. It really shows how dependent you are on others in that environment. The boat crew, their vigilance, one little mistake, one oversight, like maybe missing a head count or just not paying attention for a moment.
And it becomes life or death.
Precisely. Especially when the environment itself gives you zero safety net. That decision to never dive again, it really speaks to how deeply that loss of safety hit them.
Okay, this next one, it takes a much darker turn.
Uh-oh.
It involves sailing. Someone accepted an invitation from a guy they knew from college, sort of an acquaintance.
Okay.
This guy was apparently really proud of his expensive sailboat. The plan sounded fine, casual Saturday, hang out in the water, have some beers.
Sounds normal enough.
But here's where it gets weird. The narrator decided, last minute to bring his roommate along. Just figured, hey, more the merrier, right?
Yeah.
Assumed the boat owner would be cool with it.
Okay, I have a feeling he wasn't.
Not at all. When they arrived, the boat owner saw the roommate and immediately looked stressed, really concerned. Asked, pointedly, who is this?
Awkward.
Very. Eventually, he sort of sighed, really reluctantly, and just said, okay, bringing the roommate had messed something up for him.
Red flag, maybe.
So hours go by, they're drinking beers, sailing around, supposed to be having fun. But the host, the boat owner, is acting really off. Just strange vibes.
Still tense.
Yeah. So the narrator, maybe feeling the beer a bit, finally asks him, hey man, are you still pissed off about my roommate coming?
Confronting it.
And the owner says something just chilling. He goes, oh, I just ruined my plans.
Ruined his plans. What plans?
Exactly. The roommate, trying to lighten the mood maybe, jokes like, oh, did you want them all to yourself? And the owner looks dead serious right at the roommate and says completely flat, well, because you're here, I can't kill him.
Whoa.
Wait, what? Yeah, I can't kill him, referring to the narrator.
That is terrifying. How did they react?
The narrator describes this insane mix of just cold fear and unbelievable relief washing over him at the same time.
I bet.
But the roommate, he just laughed it off like it was some dark, twisted joke.
Denial.
Right.
Or maybe just didn't register how serious it sounded.
Maybe. But the narrator couldn't let it go. Later on, he goes below deck to grab another beer.
Okay.
He notices this brown swinging door to a small cabin area. And feeling uneasy, after that comment.
Yeah, the vibe is definitely off.
He pushes the door open, And what he sees inside, at the foot of the bed, it just confirms all the fear.
What was it?
A big cinder block, wrapped with a yellow rope tape. And next to it, what looked like a voice recorder.
Oh my God.
Okay.
No, cinder block rope recorder.
Yeah. It paints a picture, doesn't it? The narrator said he felt instantly sober, sick to his stomach. Just this overwhelming urge to get off that boat now.
I would too. That's not just a joke anymore. That looks like preparation.
They thought about confronting the guy, but decided against it. Just wanted to leave. Didn't know what else he might have planned or how he'd react.
Smart move, probably. A cinder block and rope like that? It strongly suggests, well, weighing something down, disposing of something, or someone. The recorder adds another layer, maybe documenting. It's deeply disturbing.
The narrator is absolutely convinced his roommate showing up saved his life. That his presence just derailed whatever horrifying plan the boat owner had.
Whoa.
He never saw the acquaintance again after that day, never ran into him on campus.
It really highlights that clash between, normal social expectations and potential danger. You trust people, you go hang out.
Right, you assume safety.
But in an isolated place like a boat out on the water with someone acting strangely, how do you know? How do you gauge real danger when it's mixed with social awkwardness or maybe dark humor?
And finding those items, it shifts it, doesn't it?
It shifts it completely. But you're still left with that ambiguity, that chilling what if. How do you react when faced with something like that? Tough question.
Okay, moving on. This next one feels maybe a bit more relatable,
Yeah.
but still terrifying in its own way.
Okay.
This happened to a teenager in Waikiki. Just doing something totally normal, relaxing on one of those orange inflatable inner tubes near the beach.
Yeah, classic beach day activity. Seems harmless.
Totally. They were just floating, sun, water, started to doze off a little.
Easy to do?
Then they lift their head up and realize they've drifted, like really far away from the shore.
That moment of panic.
Exactly. They start trying to paddle back, kicking and paddling with their hands on the tube.
They're trying to fight it?
But the waves, the current, it was too strong. They weren't getting closer. They were actually moving farther out.
That's when real fear sets in. You're losing ground.
Totally. Panic hits full force. They're alone, getting farther away, start screaming for help.
Oh, man. Hopefully someone saw them.
Luckily, yes. A woman on the beach spotted the orange tube way out there, realized something was wrong, and got other people's attention.
Thank goodness for that. It shows how fast things change, doesn't it? 1 minute you're relaxing, almost asleep. The next you're fighting for survival because of forces you didn't even notice, the current, the wind, even near a busy beach.
It really shows you can't underestimate it.
Not at all. Inattention or just not realizing the power of those nearshore currents can be really dangerous.
So then comes the rescue. A guy on a wave runner speeds out,
Hero arrives.
ties the inner tube to his wave runner, and just zips him back to shore.
Oh,
Apparently the rescuer was super casual about it, like it was no big deal, happened all the time.
maybe it did for him.
But for the narrator, they were clear. This guy just saved my life.
And they were probably right. It's a good reminder, isn't it? The ocean demands respect, always. Even when you're just floating near a popular beach. Its power is always there.
Okay, our last story takes place somewhere most people think of as like the ultimate controlled environment on the water.
All right.
A massive cruise ship.
Right. A floating city, basically.
Yeah.
Thousands of people, security. Seems safe.
The narrator was a teenager then, on vacation with cousins and an aunt. Met a cute girl up at the pool on the top deck.
Ah, young romance at sea.
They hit it off, made plans to meet up later that evening after dinner.
Okay.
So the narrator waits where they plan to meet. And waits. But she never shows up.
Stood up. Or maybe you just couldn't find each other. The ships are huge.
That's what he thought at first. He spent hours searching all over this gigantic ship. Couldn't find her anywhere.
Wow, dedicated.
Then, the next morning, he gets woken up by cruise ship employees knocking on his cabin door.
Wow, why?
They're looking for a missing girl. And the narrator's heart just sinks. He knows instantly it has to be her.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah, so he gets questioned, has to talk to the captain. They launch this massive ship-wide search that continues until the ship eventually docks.
Did they find her?
No, that's the chilling part. Weeks later, the narrator looked it up online. She was still listed as missing. Never found.
Just vanished. On a cruise ship full of people.
Just vanished. The narrator talked about how haunted they felt by it. The big search, all the fuss made, and then nothing. No answers.
That really challenges the whole idea of safety in numbers, doesn't it? Or safety in a controlled space.
Oddly.
The very size and maybe anonymity of a huge cruise ship, even with security, could actually create opportunities for someone to disappear. It's counterintuitive.
How could that happen? Surrounded by thousands.
That's the deeply unsettling question, isn't it? That makes you think about vulnerabilities in places we assume are completely secure. What is it about the structure or scale itself that might, paradoxically, allow something like this?
So we've heard these really different stories. Lost at sea because someone messed up.
Human error.
Facing someone who might have had truly sinister intentions.
Intentional malice, yeah.
Being swept away by just, the water itself near the shore.
Natural forces.
And then this complete vanishing act on a huge ship.
An unexplained disappearance. They all show vulnerability in different ways, don't they, when we're interacting with the sea or the people on it?
Yeah, they really do.
Even though the situations are so different nature, human causes, unknown, they all kind of point back to the ocean's power, its unpredictability.
And how fast our sense of safety can just evaporate.
Exactly, whether it's because of the environment itself or someone else's actions or something we just don't understand. It shows the limits of our control, really, when we venture into these vast or even just complex settings.
They're definitely more than just scary stories to listen to. They feel like reminders.
Powerful one.
About how quickly things can change and how important awareness and caution are. And just having respect for where you are, even if it feels totally safe or routine.
Absolutely.
So we've shared some pretty intense accounts today. Stories of being lost, facing really dark possibilities, being carried away, and just vanishing.
And they all serve as these stark, real-world illustrations. You have to respect the ocean's power, always. And maybe be mindful of the unpredictability of human encounters, too, especially out on the water.
As you think about these stories later, maybe consider this. How thin is that line, really, between adventure and peril? And what possibilities, natural or human, might be hiding just beneath the surface unseen, maybe unknowable, until suddenly it's too late?
A sobering thought.
Thank you for listening to us share these accounts. If these stories grabbed you, please do like this video, share it, and definitely subscribe to our channel, Horror Docs, for more explorations into the strange and unsettling.
We appreciate you tuning in.